financial dealings of the municipality, including Section 7D of the agenda, on the basis that my wife is the business owner. I will disclose this conflict at the regular meeting council held on October 11th, 2022. I hereby declare that I've disclosed all relevant information that pertains to the conflict of interest noted above, and that all of the information provided is accurate to the best of my knowledge. Name is Ian Chambers, councillor. It was provided today, October 11th, 2022, here at the town hall.
So when we get to that item, you get up and leave, and we'll call you back. Any other human interest? None? Minutes of the previous meeting? Regular meeting of September the 13th, 2022. Resolution?
Resolution moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Colombo. Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby approves the minutes of the September 13th, 2022 regular meeting as presented.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Questions and information arising out of the minutes? None? Petitions and delegations? Yes, we have it. Are you here for the petition?
No, for the severance on Queens Road.
Okay, that's next. No petition and delegations. Okay, fire chief report.
Moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Colombo. Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby accepts the fire chief's report as presented.
Is he on Zoom, the fire chief?
Steve?
No.
Okay. Any questions on the report? All in favor then?
Aye.
Carried. Road superintendent report?
Moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Colombo. Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby accepts the road superintendent report as presented.
Any questions? Go ahead, Council.
One second,
Council.
Mr. Matthews has hand up first.
Oh, well.
Doesn't matter.
Council Colombo?
Question I have, is that being paved this year?
No.
It's not, it's staying the way it is.
We tried to get a tire and chip, but the contractors, what I was told.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, we tried to reach out, but they were already booked and didn't have time to do it this season. So
Okay.
we'll have to get a quote for next year in order to do that.
Okay, so when, we're not putting regular pavement on that, that's just being,
That can be discussed next budget.
okay, so it may change, because right now it's scheduled for what?
We were looking potentially at tire and chip, but I don't we'll have to get a quote and see what the difference to do to get it paved or not,
Okay,
to see if we have enough money to do that.
okay, I'll leave it at that for now.
Council Caputo?
I was asked, if it's not getting tarred, chipped, or paved this year, why tear it up? I got asked by two constituents. And the third call I got was in reference to, is that it for the year? And it's gonna stay gravelled. And someone asked, why is Jerry Archibald grading the road when we contracted someone out to take care of the road and get it in a ready state for the next annuum, because it's gonna be paved next year. And the person also asked, the paving and that all takes place in late September, October, when the paving plan gets up, and you can see around the whole town now, everybody's paving. Is that gonna be till next September, they asked as well. So just a couple of questions the constituents are calling me about and saying, if so, why not rip it up and do it all one time? Like the logs haven't even been taken away from in front of my house. I already have the accordion, which my wife loves, by the way, because it slows down the vehicles.
You want to answer?
So my understanding is that we were going to get quotes in the spring. We didn't have enough time at the end of the year because the businesses that were paving were already booked, because we didn't have a tender out for paving. And so it's obviously not going to get done this season, but that's my understanding of the situation.
And Walls Road was in the budget to get done this year, to be torn up. but they wait till the fall. There's
So that's it, that's torn up, and then they're just gonna pave over top of what's been done? Mr. Mayor, to you, through Andrew?
So I'd have to check and see with the road superintendent to see what else
Okay,
he
well-
was looking to get done.
Cool.
But my understanding is when we put the tender out in the summertime for that work, there was no paving mentioned at that time that he requested to have done.
I couldn't, I looked diligently for the past report about the road and the logs that are in the road in front of my area from there going forward. And I was wondering if they are gonna be removed, or is that gonna be another evening situation like it's happened in the past? Because I'm asking as a Walls Road resident, and I've also been asked by a couple other people who showed some interest that if it's not gonna get done this year, why do what they did now and should have left it the way it was? I said, I'll ask when I go to the council.
So
That's-
my understanding was that they did remove the logs. That's what I was told. So I haven't been through it myself. But that was part of the quote, was to do that work. So I'll have to check with the road super and get back to you on that.
Yep.
As to what the status is of that.
I think it's probably a good idea to leave that road the way it is. You do have bad spots, then we'll be able to see in the spring where they are and dig them up.
So, Andrew, through you to the mayor, is this Jerry Archibald grading when it gets washed out and the rain is coming, because it's almost middle October, is that an extra incurred cost to the township? Or is this under the steel speed quote? That's the
No,
other question I gotta ask.
So the steel speed work is completed.
So they're complete, that quote we got from them back in, on their only quote, right, I
Yeah.
believe? So that's the bill for what they've done so far. So any added gravel, any added grading, any added work
Would be an additional cost.
on the township?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Council. Anthony?
Yeah, my thoughts are on the same line. I wanted to ask the road super about the washboards on Walls Road and if there was any, what his thoughts were on the roughness of the road, if he was good. What he had any plan on dealing with it, because I find it rather rough for traveling. But that's what I was going to ask, maybe perhaps that could be mentioned to him. Then I was just gonna mention what he said from baseline west for half a mile from Airport Road. I find that section of the road very bad as well, and I was just gonna mention to the road superintendent and have a chat with him about it being the ditches that don't get cleared out on that south side of the road. Backs the water up under the road, it just freezes, because if you notice, it is on the south half of the road. And I just was gonna get his thoughts on those two.
I think, my opinion on that, I think we're gonna have to go ask the city to get those sections done next year, because baseline, their section's terrible, town line, their section's terrible. And the ditching, we just couldn't get enough contractors this year to do any ditching at all, so.
Yeah, 'cause our side is fine, our
Yeah.
ditches are fine, Brian's doing a great job.
And you got anything to add? The only thing I gotta add, there's trees hanging on Douglas Drive low. So when the vehicles, the higher vehicles or trailers or, camper trailers or what, they're hitting the top of, they're hitting the trees. And so since it's our road, maybe we'll get something done about them.
Okay, I will check with the road supervisor and get back.
Okay, you heard the resolution, Council Caputo?
Mr. Mayor, through you to CEO Andrew Nowlin. This is no, I just wanted to make a note that this is no reflection on our road supervisor. Brian comes by my house every morning when I'm leaving at 10 to 6. I see him already at work, driving down, and I don't get a chance to talk to him all the time. There's not a reflection on our road superintendent, but I would like to have an answer from him, from who he can get the answers from, please. Just so I want to make that clear, that it's not a reflection on our road supervisor. He has enough to do.
Okay.
Thank you.
You wanna add anything? No, yeah, you heard the resolution, all in favor?
I,
Carried. Treasurer's report, revenue and expenditures report from September 2022.
Be resolved that the council of Prince Township accepts the treasurer's revenue and expenditure reports for September 2022 as presented.
Question? Heard the resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Staff report on township fire, oh, yeah, we'll wait.
And
Okay, staff report on township hall, fire hall, pavilion, Wi-Fi and internet upgrade.
Moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Palumbo. Be it resolved that the council of Prince Township accepts the staff report on the township hall, fire hall, pavilion, Wi-Fi, and internet as presented.
Questions? Councilor Matthews?
Question, comment, I guess on the very first page, council's intention to split the cost between the 4 users. I would ask if we could talk about that. I would suggest including, making it, let's say $100 flat per month per user. I know in the library's case, they pay $154 a month now for less service than what we're going to offer. I'm looking at the price breakdown as $73.23 being cost replacement. The balance to make it around $100 would start replacing back into the general fund the money that we'd use to buy the equipment. I would propose $100 a month, but that's kind of what I'm throwing out there.
Councilor Caputo?
shared and equitable is fine with me, Mr. Mayor. I had a highlighted part where I saw that we got a rebate. They made a mistake in the wireless, so I went over it again and again, 3 times, and they quoted us. Is it 95? If everybody knows, please correct me. It's $95 for the hour for them to do the work, and it's not labor credit. Is that $3,605 that we were credited? It's on 7D.
Sorry, we were credited $429.40.
Correct. Okay. I didn't know what this number meant. That's why I wanted to double check it.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's a credit note we got back for, so every time that they were on property and they were working, it was $95 per unit
Per hour, yeah.
per hour. Okay, I just wanted to ask that question.
Council Plum?
No questions, I'll follow suit.
And $100 seems fair because we did buy the equipment. And if we have any service calls or anything, that extra cost will pay for the service call and that.
Sorry, service call? I don't
No,
know.
I'm just saying,
Oh, if we have to make a service call?
no, I'm saying we're talking about equal pay for all the providers we're offering it to, like the library, early on, fire department. And if everybody paid $100, it would pay for the equipment we bought over time.
Oh, I see.
And it'd still be a lot cheaper than what they're paying, and they'll get better service.
Awesome, yep.
And if you look at it, most of that money comes from the tax dollars anyway when they budget.
So through you to Mr. Nolan, is that now, if there's anything goes wrong, we call ABC, they come and rectify the situation?
That's my understanding, yes. And I mean, this bill in the past was passed by council to set up the internet.
Right.
But yeah, we would use these folks to come in and fix the Wi-Fi if that's
Okay, thank you very much.
the issue.
And that's at $95 an hour. Okay. Thank you.
I imagine you must have some kind of warranty system on the
Yeah,
equipment.
That I don't know, but I can certainly find out and get back to everybody on that. What, if any, warranty?
Council,
So after just hearing our last little bit of our conversation, are we suggesting or proposing that wireless.com is no longer servicing the hall in any way?
No, they still provide service.
What service?
So since I've been here, they've come out and fixed, we had them come out and fix the wheelchair access door here.
Okay, so they're servicing repairs, but they're not providing us any kind of.
They provide our phone, they provide our phones, like our voice over internet protocol phones. They provide our email domains.
And how would, okay, if they're so wireless would be responsible for our phones and our email domains? I mean, I'm not tech savvy with
Yeah,
internet
it's
service.
my understanding, and I could be mistaken, my understanding is they're more of the software side of it. And these folks that came in provided us with the Wi-Fi routers that were put in so that, early on, the library, the pavilion have access to the internet.
Okay, so if I may ask, previous to this company coming in, was it wireless.com that had the hardcore part of our internet service in place?
I do not know the
Yes.
answer to that.
yeah, they had all they had all the equipment. But when we tendered it out, a Goma computer came in cheaper.
Okay, so there's no conflict here. I'm not saying conflict of interest, but will there be any conflict created between the two companies because of this?
I don't.
Mr. Matthews has.
Comment on that. I would put out there that wireless.com is the internet service provider, and ABC did the network backbone after that. The actual connection to the internet comes through wireless.com, then it hooks up to the network, which is then securely sent to the other users. So ABC did the network. Wireless.com is still the internet service provider.
They would be like Bell.
They would be
Bell-
$169.
They would be like Bell. Bell supplied the internet, and then we would have to have another company to.
And if just on that point, just to follow up on that, then if there is any issue further later with wireless.com, say somebody, Bell, when the mayor mentioned Bell, made me think of it, anyone else comes in that can supply the internet to the network more efficiently, that's the only part we have to change. Everything that ABC has done, and nobody's passwords are going to change, everything else is the same, we just change the access to the internet provider.
Yeah.
And that's the $169 in unlimited.
Okay, so but the question that hasn't been answered yet, is there any kind of conflict that may be created between these two companies, considering they both provided us two different types of services when we have issues with our system? That's what I need to know.
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm not an internet expert.
Neither am I. Right, so that's something we
But
have
my
to look
understanding
into.
is, further to what Councillor Adams said, is they put in the hardware here. Whether there's a conflict there or not, I don't know.
The reason why I asked this
Yep.
question is wireless.com has provided us a lot of service without cost to the township. They've volunteered to decorate our Christmas tree with their boom truck in the winter. They've come here on occasion where they hadn't charged for services. And now we've turned around, and I don't know, this is why I'm asking. I want to know if there's any kind of conflict that can be created, because we can't forget when these companies come in and provide us extra service without a cost to the township.
It's been
So I-
going on for five or 6 months now with the
Yeah.
Council Caputo.
May I wireless is still our provider. ABC got the contract that we approved as council to come in and do all this wiring and setup. Wireless still takes care of our system.
Right.
So ABC is now done because they've set everything up. That's what maybe Enzo's trying to ask. Am I asking the wrong question?
No,
Counselor?
it's right on
So is
track.
ABC
because-
finished with us now that it's all set up?
Unless their equipment breaks and they come in and fix it.
So they come in and fix it.
Right,
Okay.
it's their equipment.
Okay, and I think he was asking if there was a warranty if something goes wrong, and we have a 6-month, 3-month.
That's what he's gonna check.
And
into.
that,
Awesome.
I did make. note
Awesome.
that I have
Does
to
that
find
sound
out.
more clarified there?
Yeah,
Cal-
no,
Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt.
No,
I understand what you're saying, but it's in a roundabout way. They're still our provider. ABC performed the work because they came in the lowest bid over them and over 2 other bidders, I believe, we picked. Right? Okay. Okay.
We have to be cautious.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there, Counselor.
And I do recall council deciding to go with ABC. Or, sorry, is it ABC or?
Yes.
It is ABC.
Yeah. Because like I said, wireless has went above and beyond for this township over the years.
Okay.
And,
Any other questions? Heard the resolution, all in favor? Everybody agrees to $100 instead of 73?
I'd like to congratulate and thank Counselor Matthews, and I agree, yeah.
Guess you don't need to put that in.
You're
I made
right.
a motion.
Okay, so you heard the resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Can somebody yell at Council Chambers? We're gonna do the bylaws next. Applying official.
Yeah.
Okay. Resolution, and I guess.
Okay, resolution, moved by Councilor Caputo, seconded by Councilor Colombo. Be resolved that the council of Prince Township approves the official plan application OP-03 2022. So it's, location of the property is Prince PT Section 33 and RP 565 Walls Road, Prince Township, Ontario. We're requesting an amendment to the official plan to stand notwithstanding policy C.9.1 to allow consent to create an additional lot. The report that we got from Stephen Turco from Borealis Planning Service was recommend that we go ahead and do this. Resolve that the report dated October 11th regarding official plan and zoning bylaw amendment be approved subject to the following. That the council approve amendment 2022-01 aligned by way of notwithstanding clause of the rural area residential policies of the official plan, one additional rural residential lot severance only. There was no issues from Sault Ste. Marie Regional Conservation Authority or from Algoma Public Health.
Are you here for that one?
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about that or say anything, add anything to it?
No, it's that, it's a lot to be a house and it doesn't serve me any purpose. I know years back I was told it's supposed to be a roadway for a whole expansion and behind my house and a bunch of houses and such, but I don't plan to ever have a whole bunch of houses back there, so this, kind of just finishes off Dean's Road and it's a useful lot for someone.
Any questions from council?
I read Mr. Turco's, first and foremost, I'm in favor, neighbor. I read Mr. Turco's findings, and I was of the old days where you sever twice, and that was supposed to be in the plan, but now that I don't know if it's gonna be a precedent.
That has changed a long time ago where they added more severances. Used to be only 2. You only used to be at one time split the property in 2, but they changed that and allowed 2 more severances on bigger properties.
I did not read that, and all the
That was-
findings I found, I read, but
That was,
again, I'm just.
that was a few years ago.
Oh, before my time, okay. Like when Mr. Turco gave the consent and he authorized the severance, the existing neighbors on both sides, you've talked to them? Everything's
I've got
cool
boats and stuff and,
with Jordan, the late, yeah.
yeah, haven't said anything to me and assuming that they don't have any issues.
And also just want to make note that as long as it is what it is, the summary on page 8A, the summary I was reading, the planner, it's his opinion that as outlined in the official plan and therefore the requested amendment and severance is recommended. So with that being said, I am in acceptance of you bringing a new family to Prince. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions?
Right here.
Council Humble?
There's no issue with your application. It's good to go. The only concern I have in the report by Mr. Turco, he states as there may be potential to develop a rural subdivision if lands to the west are merged with the subject property. It is recommended that no future severances occur. So how does the township not monitor but document this information so we don't have to, as a council, sometime down the road, have to be fighting or arguing about this, an application that may come forward?
For
And I'm-
a subdivision?
Well, whether it's a subdivision or whether it's just subdividing your lot again, severing your lot again, right? It may be, and I'm talking years down the road,
Yeah,
someone else moves in and they see two big lots and they want to sever the lot and they come in for amendment, this amendment, that. How do we structure in our documentation within our administration?
You don't, because you'd be tying another council's hands, and as long as they have frontage on a property, on an existing road, they have every right to come and ask for a severance.
They have every right until until Steve recommends that no future severance will occur, and that meets our official plan. And our official plan overrules everything because it's owned by the people. I'm just trying to avoid duplication down the road, having to argue something that shouldn't even be allowed to come to council.
Say if we put it in there now, that person can still come to a council and ask. So it's a.
Sure, they can ask, but I think,
Council at the time could say no.
yeah, I think, but that this is what I'm trying to explain. Why have it come to council when it can be done through our administration during their application?
But they can still come anytime they want.
Yeah, they can.
So
I understand they can. Anyone has a right, the public has a right to come to council. But I think through administration, if you had that information documented in a way to explain to an individual, most individuals would more than likely not come to council, is all I'm trying to get at.
I don't know if you can. Council Chamber?
Well, it would be noted on this action that no further severances of that would be allowed from that nature parcel.
It's
So
on,
that would be on record.
That's something our CEO would have to look into and get back to me on.
Okay, I can certainly do that.
I appreciate it.
any other questions? You heard this resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Yeah. Okay. I guess you still got 21 days, gotta wait, in case you want to start building.
no worries, no rush for that. Just, get everything, all the paperwork done and stuff, and then,
Next year.
yeah, spring.
Oh, you sold it?
No,
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. I have a bunch of realtor friends and stuff like that, I'm sure if I wanted to.
Awesome. Congratulations.
We jump to C now, right?
Well, we have to do the consent,
Oh,
Nice
okay.
pen, buddy.
which is the severance, right?
Okay, you might have written.
Okay.
You need more, I got more.
Resolution to sever, moved by Councillor Hudo, seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be resolved that the Council of Prince Township approves consent application C3 2022.
And it's the same piece of property and,
Yeah, and there's no issues from either the APH or the conservation.
so you heard the rest, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, zoning bylaw amendment, Z dash 02-0222.
Moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Colombo. Be resolved that the Council of Prince Township approves zoning bylaw amendment Z02-2022. And that's an amendment to the subject property at 1262 Airport Road in Prince Township from rural agricultural to rural residential. So from Steve Turco of Borealis Planning Services. The purpose of this report is to recommend amendment to the township's zoning bylaw, which will facilitate a change from rural area agricultural to rural area residential. While change in zoning is being proposed, it should be noted there are no proposed changes to how the land will be used for agricultural purposes. The applicants are requesting this change for mortgage purposes. And he recommends to go ahead.
Is there questions? Okay. Matthew?
It just, can anybody elaborate on that mortgage issue?
I could probably.
Oh, good.
Mortgage on agricultural land is very hard to get. They really strip. So rural residential is a lot easier to get a mortgage for some reason. That's why he's probably having a hard time, so he wants to switch it to rural residential. I don't know why, what's the difference is but it is.
It's liability.
Thank you.
It's liability. To my understanding, it's because of liability.
I guess because they can have animals on
Yeah.
it, but they can have more animals. They can build a giant sized barn.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Yeah. Okay, no, there's not notice of motion, correspondence. Letter from the Minister of Steve Clark, Land Use Planning.
Oh, skip nine.
Oh, good night, sorry. Bylaws,
Moved by Councillor Caputo, seconded by Councillor Colombo. Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby adopts bylaw 2022-21 being a bylaw for official plan amendment OP-03 2022 for roll number 5766 000 51 53 100 000 565 Walls Road, allowing one additional rural residential lot severance only.
any questions on that? All in favor? Carried.
Moved by Councillor Colombo, seconded by Councillor Chambers. Be resolved that Council of Prince Township hereby adopts bylaw 2022-22 being a bylaw for zoning amendment Z02-2022 for roll number 5766 63401 1262 Airport Road from rural agricultural to rural residential.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
That's on my, paper. You can have it.
Is it the bylaw?
One more. Moved by Councillor Palumbo, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby adopts bylaw 2022-22 being a bylaw to authorize the electronic signing of documents.
Questions? And that's only for, you know, there's certain ones you need to send a signature away in. Okay, yeah, Councilor.
I'm sorry, can I ask you the bylaw number again that you signed?
2022-23.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. That's it, the bylaws now?
Yes.
Okay. Notice of motion, none correspondence. Letter from Mr. Steve Clark, Land Use Planning.
Moved by Councillor Palumbo, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby approves Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing letter from Minister Steve Clark on land use planning as correspondence.
Any questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay. No more correspondence, minutes of boards and committees.
I don't have any.
None? New business, quotes for community center roof drainage repair.
So moved by Councillor, Chambers, and seconded by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby accepts the quotes to repair the roof drain pipe of the community center for review and approval.
Anybody got any questions on that? Yeah, the one at the back is, needs to be straightened and fixed and drained underneath the ground, so. So you heard the resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Corporation of Township of McCleary letter, removal of municipal councilors under prescribed circumstances, letter to municipal affairs and housing.
Moved by Councillor Chambers, seconded by Councillor Matthews. Be resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby accepts Corporation of Township of McGarry letter removal of municipal councilors under prescribed circumstances of the letter to MMA.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, old business, none? Closed session, none? Confirming by, oh. Go ahead, Councilor Pluto.
I don't know what to bring it up under, so I would suggest it being closed. And it's in reference to employment matter. I have a question I'd like to ask.
Okay.
I have a question I'd like to ask. It's a brief and simple question, and it just needs a simple and brief answer. I just need to,
My understanding, it has to be,
It has to come, can we just ask him can't you just ask him tomorrow? Or do you need counsel? It's a question.
he's asking to do it in close, and it has to be in close because it's speaking about an employee of our establishment.
But he handles the employees, not counsel. So if he has a question for the employee, it goes to,
Yeah, no, I understand that.
so, but counsel has nothing to do with employees.
Well, I don't know if he really wants us to handle a matter. He may be just be asking for advice. We don't know that until he
100%.
asks.
100%.
I understand it. We don't, it's up to the CEO. The employees of the township are the responsibility of the CEO.
That's why I'm saying if he has a question, about an employee, then he should be going to the CEO, not council.
Yeah.
So let's just sorry, Mr. Plumble, to you, Mayor, to Andrew. Hypothetically, say the question's about you, Andrew.
Mhm.
I'd like to ask you in closed. Or if the question's about Mayor, I'd like to ask the Mayor in closed. And I think I researched it and it's my right to be able to ask you that question.
Yes.
Or counsel that question.
Okay, it's-
Whether I get an answer or not,
then that's a different, that's a different thing, then we go into close. Okay,
thank you.
if it's when it deals with the CEO, then the council deals with it, employee administrator, or CEO.
Correct.
handle it.
Correct.
So we do these resolutions in close then?
Yes.
It'll be quick. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry.
Council, can you close that?
I will there, Mr. Mayor.
And we'll have to go on, after June.
Do you want to move or second?
Yes. We should move it off.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Sorry.
Gotta wait till the end.
I have to put everybody in the waiting
Yeah,
room,
so we'll just wait.
one by one.
Sorry, Leanne.
That's
When the
okay.
end goes, you can close the door.
Will
Thank
do.
you.
You gotta move this. Let's see it around. Let's see. Okay.
After 40 time, right?
Yeah.
Please read.